Bridge Bharat is basically a platform of India's last living generational artists. From a digital standpoint, from a positioning, marketing, pricing standpoint, we are still about 50 to 100 years back. If I have a painting in my home, I want it to be by a celebrated artist. I want it to have some authenticity. अब उसको हम digitize करते हैं. Most of these artists are also geographically so spread apart and therefore a little bit remote.
So is it that you're giving chance to these artists who have not been recognized?
I want to bring Indian art from a pure play investment standpoint at the same level as a contemporary or a modern art. In a business like mine, ideally you would want a CEO and a creative director. I am Ahmedabad is focused on the creative director. If people spend about a lakh and a half on a painting, they spend the equivalent amount on frame. The reason that you see pictures of Indian gods in every home today is because of Ravi Verma. He's a revolutionary. It was often said that you don't want to teach the girls in the family because then they'll go out of the family. An artist called Vidya Sonir, Lalita Vakil have gone against their family and said, no, I will learn it.
As a consumer, when you buy diamond on retail level, it can never be an investment. Because you already retailer को 25-30% margin दे रहे हो. This is what we are building at Fiona Diamonds and this is what I have always been believing in.
In order for any art form to survive, it must adapt to the modern time.
Hi Akanksha.
Hey Parag, lovely to meet you.
Welcome to the PDA show.
Thank you.
And today we are going to talk about how innovative is Bridge Bharat. And to introduce you to my audience, it's Akanksha Singh, founder and CEO of Bridge Bharat, who's building on a great experience and the building journey for artists and giving them direction for and space in the market to sell innovation, which is perseverance and promoting their art. Right? So I would like to hear more from you, how you're building Bridge Bharat, and to start with it, the starting journey of how you started and what inspired you.
All right. Thanks, Parag, for having me here. It's lovely to be here and to speak to you about this. So just for a little bit of context, Bridge Bharat is basically a platform of India's last living generational artists. So we have about close to 3,000, 4,000 types of art forms in India. And this ranges from paintings to visual arts to performance to products to all of that. And when you compare it to, say, a contemporary art or a modern art market, from a digital standpoint, from a positioning, marketing, pricing standpoint, we are still about 50 to 100 years back, right?
Really?
Yeah, and in a case like that, my idea was you're sitting on 3,000 years of heritage value, and why is there nothing being done in this space? It's a difficult space to navigate, so I understand.
Absolutely, it's so picky, it's so niche.
Absolutely. So, in a sense, that way we represent currently about 50 artist families, and with the North Star of what does the next 100 years of Indian art look like, right? And that brings me to, when I have that as my North Star and everything we do as a team, from operations to sales to brand building, with that North Star in focus, that also in a way tells me what products I need to do. So we started with paintings, for instance, but we are now moving into things like installation art. And again, my audience for this is going to be large public art installations with airports, with governments, where you are actually taking Indian art to the world at large.
Yeah, so it's not limited to houses where I'm just making my interiors and giving you a wall or something like that.
That's a starting point, of course, because again, we also see from an interior standpoint, the idea is how Indian art will blend across cultures in the world, right?
Right.
Can an Indian art or an Indian painting work in a modern space, work in a contemporary space, work in, say, a Scandinavian looking interior? It fits, right? Absolutely. If you pick the color palette right, if you the color story, the motifs, the framing, the lighting, all of that is right, it definitely fits. It's something the world needs to see. The world needs to visualize.
Right. So, when you talk about Bridge Bharat, it is combining art, modern traditions with innovation, infusing technology in it. So, how does NFTs, blockchain help you?
Yeah.
And are you using them?
Yeah. So let me paint a picture for you of what happens when you buy a painting from a local artist in, say, a Jaipur. Okay, you go to Jaipur. Ek to first finding the artist will be very difficult.
Correct.
The right pedigree of artist, the right kind of work. Indian art only uses natural colors, stone pigment colors, which is the only color that will last you 100 years. So your painting will last you over a century. Now that is only a few artists in the world are using that. So second, wo dhundna difficult hai. What kind of colors this artist is using? Is it a genuine artist?
So you have a filter of selecting these artists for Bridge Bharat?
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. So say for example, over 500 artists that we speak to, we will onboard about 10 to 12. Right?
Okay.
Keeping capacity in mind. So for example, even if I'm onboarding 10 to 12 artists, if these are artists who have, say, won the National Award or the President's Award or, say, a Padma Shri, they have a community of about 100 to 200 artists working with them, which ensures quality, but make sure I have capacity as well to take care of larger orders.
Okay, but what's the mood or what's the style you keep in mind while curating these artists? What are the filters?
So from a personality standpoint, the only thing I will keep in mind for an artist, apart from the quality of work, is how open these artists are to working with say we call it co-creation. So it is a creation that is co-created by Bridge Bharat and, say, an artist A. So how open you are to collaborations like that, because most of these artists are also geographically so spread apart and therefore a little bit remote. They're not really exposed to the modern.
So is it that
contemporary.
you're giving chance to these artists who have not been recognized so well, like the Hussains of the world? And, so are you giving exposure to them?
Yeah.
And how are you using technology for the same?
Right. So, so I was going back to that point. So technology, my point being, so if you say you go to this artist in Jaipur and you've managed to source a painting from them, you don't get a certificate of authenticity. You probably will have to pay cash as your mode of payment. You will probably get a kacha bill. Right. So
Correct.
it's if in case
India
you ever get a bill. Absolutely. Yeah. So now when something like this happens and again, perceived value of paintings is high. If I have a painting in my home, I want it to be by a celebrated artist. I want it to have some authenticity.
It's a flex,
It's
right?
very similar to, say, diamonds, for example. You can't sell a diamond without giving a certificate of authenticity of this is the
Correct.
diamond.
उसकी value पूरे कागज की है.
बिल्कुल.
हाँ.
अब उसको हम digitize कर रहे हैं, right? So there's as simple as there's a QR code on the side of the painting. You scan the QR code, the artist's signature, it takes you to the certificate of authenticity, which is mapped on a blockchain. The artist's signature becomes an NFT. Therefore, who the artist is, what is the pedigree, what is the story of the painting,
Right.
what is the provenance.
So basically,
of the
all
painting,
information
all
of the
of
product,
that.
say, would be there, and you'll have recorded every transaction, so that you see the history of.
And now we're also recording, for example, the payment cycle of how much payments we are making to the artist versus what we are keeping to ourselves. So it's a very transparent system.
Okay, so can we say that the catalog, what you have and what is being sold, you converting everything to NFTs?
The paintings we're not. We're still sticking to physical paintings. The artist signatures are NFTs.
But how do you link the signatures with the particular painting then?
There's a code
Thumbnail
for
and-
I mean, there's a QR code, there's a thumbnail,
Okay.
all of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. So, what kind of impact and how many artists have you made an impact in their lives? Because I'm sure that could be a purpose of behind what you're doing.
Absolutely. I think that's like I always wanted to build something in the impact space. So the fact that by design you are impacting so many practitioners of art is something that does keep us going. To date, we have impacted lives of over 100 practitioners. It's a really fulfilling journey in that sense as well.
So, currently, how many artists are you working with?
Currently, we work with 50 artist families, which in turn impacts about 150 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are the ranges of the price range of the paintings that you sell?
So paintings, I feel can go, our original sort of average selling point was about 2 lakhs. We've got that down a little bit because we do want to democratize it as well. So we've got that down to about 30,000, but we range between 30,000 to about 70, 80 lakhs.
That's a very sweet spot.
It's a lovely spot.
Yeah, because paintings, what you hear and the a very upscale market.
And
they are in crores and they appreciate.
Yeah.
So from the value investing point of view,
Yeah.
how would you rate your paintings and these artists following up their journey and marketing them? How does that
Yeah.
go?
So I'll tell you where we started off, right? We started off with a hypothesis of I want to bring Indian art from a pure play investment standpoint at the same level as a contemporary or a modern art. Can say a Padma Shri Lalita Vakil, who is a Chamba Rumal artist in Himachal, be priced at the same level as a Hussain? That was the North Star. I feel that was idealistic. It doesn't work because people don't perceive that art in that way, and that's
Because
very
of the
hard to
name
change.
of artist not being
Name
famous.
of the artist, plus there's also you have 200 million artists doing work in the same space, so there's no differentiation. The differentiation comes in design, for
Correct.
example. So we pivoted. A strong pivot we've done in the last couple of months has been from an art company to a design company, where we are working with these artists, where it is GI tagged, so you know the art is from here. It is unique in that sense, but there is a Brij Bharat play there where it is blending into homes of people. So it is more relevant. Backing to the same question of what is my North Star? What does the next 100 years of Indian art look like? You have to change to adapt for the art form to survive.
But if you have to describe about Brij Bharat in categorizing modern art to abstracts and Tanjore, so which is your personal favorite and what?
We don't do modern and
you don't do modern.
we don't
at all?
do modern abstract at all, because where I do want to build a large company here, we need to start with a niche. So my niche, as my name suggests, is Brij Bharat. So we focus on Indian legacy art. Legacy matlab it doesn't move into the Hussain and Ravi Verma. All that comes in the modern art.
Correct.
In the modern or contemporary art category.
Okay, so you're preserving the heritage of India, where you would want to have artists from small places and then follow their journey and enhance their lives.
Absolutely.
Perfect. And so where does this idea come from? Usually, I'm still curious, I'm not clear what was your background and are you yourself an artist?
I'm a terrible artist.
So you're a great businesswoman.
I was told to leave art class in school. Please leave and join sports because you cannot do this. So no, my nanny is an artist. My family comes
you
from
grew
a
up with
background.
that. And
Yeah, my mom's a great artist. My sister's a really good artist. Amateur
so तो आपको
artist.
बेचना आता है?
बेचना आता है.
मुझे भी jewelry designing नहीं आती, but I can sell jewelry. So,
Also for me, I think why, when you ask me personally, why art, it's because I find it so intimidating. When, actually, if you ever sit in front of a canvas, you're sitting with a paintbrush, a white canvas, and you don't know where to start. That's
called
much
modern art, I think.
harder. No, for even when you're doing new compositions and things, when you don't know where to start versus making an Excel sheet with this business plan and these numbers, you know how it's going to look eventually. Correct. I find that very intimidating. So because I found it so intimidating, the respect for the field actually went up for me.
Okay. So, but do you do portraits also? No portraits.
No, portraiture is not part of Indian traditional or legacy art, as we call it. Portraiture is a school of art that came up much later, so it doesn't fit in our category.
Okay, so you know how to curate artists and building a business out of it.
Yeah.
And you've done certain cultural programs with IIM Ahmedabad.
Yes.
So
we
tell me more
were
about that.
incubated by IIM Ahmedabad. So actually very lucky. We're just about a year into business now. I spent last year at IIM Ahmedabad understanding. Now they run a program called the Creative and Cultural Business Program.
Oh, they do?
Yes. It's a cohort based. It happens every year. And our cohort, for example, had 32 entrepreneurs who work in the creative and cultural space. Now that program was a really good understanding of how to build a brand in the Indian creative cultural space, because it's very different from other spaces. Challenges are different, supply chain problems are different, curation is different, positioning is different. So everyone sitting in that class has the same, no matter what your business is, if it is in India, creative, cultural, you have the same problems. So that understanding of how to build that brand in this very niche space is something.
So how did it exactly help you with the business, the IIM cultural program?
It helped me in the sense of, in a business like mine, ideally you would want a CEO and a creative director. IIM Ahmedabad is focused on the creative director role of how are you building a brand, how are you curating, what is the kind of positioning, what kind of communication you want to set
Oh, so
up.
it's everything then.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Business requires everything.
Absolutely. It's the brand side of the business, and I understood that very well. And then, of course, then you have my current investors that we've raised money from, which is AC Ventures and Full Stack Capital, and these guys understand the business of it.
Correct.
So when you balance the two, and that balance is very important because we are not building a mass market.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you have to. That
You just
storytelling
can't
is
go on
important.
sale.
Yeah. You can't.
Yeah.
That storytelling and that slow brand building is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think biggest validation is VCs investing in your business. And that gives you conviction more about yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, that's always a good.
That's always a good thing. And of course, growth capital is required for reach and for so many things that you do around.
So for this year, for example, we really wanted to understand as to, because and I know we've spoken a couple of times about this in the past as well. We don't really fit in a D2C category.
Correct.
We are not a consumer brand, so Playbook consumer brand का नहीं हो सकता, luxury नहीं है, art like I mentioned अभी नहीं है. So you're technically building that playbook on your own of who to distribute to, who to price at, how do you want to position it, all of that. So we took a year to understand that. Now that we know clear directions of what is working, what is not, you double down on what is working.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think architects are the ones which...
For us, it's channel sales. So for example, because paintings and art in general is all discretionary spend, right? So for example, if you want a painting for your home and if I come to you, you are in no hurry to buy that painting.
Yeah. And homes take 6 months for interiors.
6 months, 1 year it may take. And also even after your home is done, if after your architect has closed the project, you're not in a hurry to buy the painting. So you might say, today you're traveling, tomorrow you're going somewhere, third you're not in town. So that sales cycle is really, really long versus when you go through interior designers, architects, it's a shorter sales cycle because they have to close the project.
Correct. Because, and like a person like me would always listen to my architect, my interior designer.
Yeah, that also.
And like stupid, I spent too much money on marble and veneers, but now I realize the value of art. And that's when I think that instead of the stupid marble or the veneer, I could have gotten a nice painting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that. And you're absolutely right. जब घर बना था हमने पेंटिंग के लिए जगह छोड़ी थी और एक बार तो कुछ भी लगा दो ऐसे करके वो 2 साल वही पेंटिंग वो रह ही गई because you get into your comfort zone और वो रह जाता है.
That's true for even like the top interior designers, architects, right? A consumer will listen to them blind. No matter no matter what.
Because they know the taste, the palette, the entire family, and it's not like again jewelry. It's personal. आपको ही पहननी है. पूरा घर देखता है उस चीज को.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So I was saying, what's your future plan? When you mentioned that you want to be part of UNESCO, so what's the vision with that?
When I moved to framing, for instance, then anyone is an artist in that sense. So I can frame even objects, for example. If you, so I'm 1/4 Sikh, for example, and my dadi had an old fulkari dupatta, the Sikh dupatta, the Punjabi dupattas, and we wanted to frame that. Now I want to frame that in a way where it is preserved. It is looking classy. It has a nice frame, nice lighting, innovative framing. There's no way I can go and do that. So the custom framing market is a large market.
Yeah, how you project the dupatta. It's not the dupatta, but
exactly.
How you
and it's very personal suddenly.
It's very personal.
Right? Imagine you have a graduation cap that you want to frame. Right? Where are you putting all these objects? It's usually under the bed, somewhere in a little tucked away somewhere, and it can make for a beautiful wall in your home.
Oh wow. So it can be done with so many things,
everything.
Like your grandfather's watch, or it can be their clothes, or dhoti, or dupatta, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. You're framing memories in a sense.
Yeah, you're framing memories, and even people do. I've seen Bombay. They make babies' hand cars and teeth cars, impressions, which are again framed.
Yeah.
So, and that also reminds me, we've also done remembrance diamonds, wherein we can create diamonds from the ashes of your loved ones.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing.
So imagine, because it's carbon, right?
Yeah.
So it's like मैं दादाजी को पहन के घूम रहा हूँ.
That's very cool. That's amazing. Yeah.
And so it's like memory,
It's memories.
Your grandfather is turned into a diamond.
Yes.
So
that's the when you say vision, that's the long-term plan to be able to preserve memories of people. We started with Indian art, Indian paintings, Indian objects, and build that name in the Indian diaspora community, and then expand. Because I feel it's too niche a business to start.
Which is your personal favorite? Which is
art form?
Yeah.
So I have a soft spot for the Chamba Rumal myself. I have a soft spot for it because it was the first artist that we met before starting Bridge Bharat. So this is an art form from Himachal. It's a town called Chamba, and it's done on silk. Basically, it is embroidery on silk, and it is the Indian miniature work का जो line drawing होता है उसके ऊपर the embroidery is called Chamba Rumal. The thing with Chamba Rumals is on both sides of the cloth, it's identical.
अच्छा.
The stitch is such that it is identical on both sides.
Really?
Yeah.
Otherwise वो उल्टा दिखता है
It's
ना?
the words correct, absolutely. Otherwise, आप पीछे का देख सकते हो कपड़े का दूसरे का side, you can tell. It's an identical stitch on both sides, and it's the words only stitchless embroidery.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and think of it as a translucent piece of silk cloth with like a narrative in embroidery done. What most people do is they frame it as a painting. Maybe you can't see the back of it.
That's what I was wondering. That
I
how
would
the
rather
installation would be.
I would frame it as a partition.
As a partition, right?
Yeah.
That would be the
And then
ideal
you're
thing.
playing with light and shadow, and the fact that it's a translucent material, the fact that you can see both sides of it. So it's a very interesting installation.
Wow, that's interesting. So you want to do a rapid fire round where I'm going to ask you questions. You have to answer without thinking and say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Okay. So if you could invite any historical figure to dinner, who would it be and why?
I think Raja Ravi Verma, because in terms of what his vision, so he actually started out as a painter for the Trivandrum royal family, and he used to only paint for royals until one day he decided that my art should be for everybody. And he was the first artist in India to introduce lithographs, which is that version of prints. तो वो 2 अन्ना का prints बिकता था through his press, through her Ravi Verma press, and eventually the British destroyed that entire litho. It's a very interesting story.
Okay, you can tell me more about it.
Okay.
You can elaborate the rapid fire.
Okay,
it's
okay. So yeah, I know it was a rapid fire.
हमारे
Sorry.
podcast है इसकी क्या बात है?
So he, very interesting story. So he, like I said, he started off as painting for the royal family of Trivandrum, the in-house painter there, and he would only paint portraits of the royal family, right? Until one day he decided that my art should be for everybody, right? He is a painter who studied Indian art, is Indian, but also took some amount of European
taste
of
style
his art, style of art in that sense. And he in Mumbai in the 1800s opened the country's first lithographic press. So आज के date में जो digital printing होता था, in the 19th century it was called lithographs.
Okay.
Right? It was a big sort of, I mean, it was not something that people do, so it caused quite a controversy because they said, these are prints or these are paintings only for the royals, how can you give it to everybody? And he and his brother said it was a commercial success, the entire press, until the British sort of burned it down. But yeah, I mean, the reason that you see pictures of Indian gods in every home today is because of Ravi Verma. He's a revolutionary in that sense.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting dinner. Yeah.
Your favorite Indian craft that you've worked with so far?
I think my favorite is because the Chamba Rumal, and I told you about that. But one that I really enjoyed were Assamese manuscripts. So these are manuscript works that are done on old palm leaves. So again, there's an artist that we found in this place called Nagaon in Assam, and he'd been collecting this family heirloom for generations and generations, and a lot of medical knowledge of the community used to be inscribed on those palm leaves.
Medical knowledge.
Medical knowledge.
Why? What was the purpose?
So see, we'll go back to why paintings even started in the first place, right?
It was an expression of form.
It was an expression. It was also recording of historical events. So a lot of your historical events that are carved, the kind of carves you see on caves and things like that, a lot of knowledge that is passed down generations was all recorded this way. So I've seen, all of these old manuscripts with like medical knowledge recorded on it.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah.
So, if Brij Bharat had a theme song, what it would be?
Can I give you a singer?
Yeah.
Okay, so Anushka Shankar. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's a British Indian classic.
Which song? Maybe I know from the song.
She has a lot of music, but she basically plays with the sitar, and I love the sitar. But it's contemporary, it's fun, it's young, it's Indian, and I feel that's where we are as a brand.
I thought you would say Swadesh kind of music.
No, I can't. I can't. No.
That's curating and going behind the Indian villages.
No, it's too much. No.
It's too much for you. Okay, not for your taste. Tea or coffee?
Coffee in the morning, tea at night. I'm doing like jasmine teas and all the fancy teas.
Oh, not the regular milk tea, or not the Indian chai.
वो
Masala
कर
chai.
लिया, वो कॉलेज में कर लिया.
Acha. What's one traditional Indian dish you can't live without?
Rajma chawal.
Yeah.
Yeah, comfort food. Khichdi,
Comfort
comfort
food,
food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dal khichdi.
Yeah.
With achar, papad.
Yeah.
One artist, dead or alive, you'd love to collaborate with.
There's an artist called Frida Kahlo. She's a
Yeah.
Mexican female, one of the most revolutionary female artists. Again, very controversial. I love controversial people,
Oh.
as you can see.
Yeah, I live controversy. With lab grown diamonds, I live that. So I love controversy.
I love controversy. So she had a very controversial career, the kind of portraiture she used to do, and very, very strong female artist. Because even in India, most artists are male dominated. Because क्या होता था, because this is all generational art, right? It is within one family. So it was often said कि आपकी बहुओं को नहीं सिखाना है, or you don't want to teach the girls in the family because then it will go out of the family. So she's one of the pioneers there who fought that, and we have a couple of artists even in our the kind of artists that we are representing. An artist called Vidya Soni, for example, or Lalita Vakil, who's the Chamba Rumal artist, have gone against their family and said कि no, I will learn it.
Wow.
So they have incredible stories as well.
So do you follow any kind of ratio that you would want these many women artists, female artists in Brij Bharat? Do you do that?
I don't think we do it by design. I am more biased, I think, towards female artists myself.
Oh,
Yeah. But
nepotism does exist.
it does, I must say. Yeah. But it's interesting. Most artists are even in India are male, as opposed to what people might think.
That's what
Think it's
even
more,
chefs. Most chefs are male.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's your most embarrassing moment on a video call?
I have a COVID story. This is when you used to wake up in the morning and put on a shirt and you'll have pajamas niche, and we've done that for 3 years.
Everyone. I still
And
do
yeah,
it.
I've had one of those days when I've got
I
up
still
to
work
shut the
from
door
home,
or
so-
something, and I have like check pajamas and like a very formal shirt on top.
So don't tell me you forgot to wear the pants and moved out of the podcast.
Luckily not. Very lucky.
So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I remember it was a video call, and I think I forgot it was video. And I remember getting up to shut the door or something was happening, and I had a
So
very
you gave a
formal,
show.
crisp shirt and like pajamas, gande wale, like some 15-year-old pajamas that I wore to the photo. And then someone said, Akanksha, you might want to shut your camera. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. That's really embarrassing. The worst is if you forget to mute and say something.
And say, yeah.
Yeah.
Or what? This could have been an email. Everyone has heard you. Yeah.
यार क्यों बुला लिया रे मीटिंग यार? Okay, so if not art and technology, what career would you have chosen?
I think if not art and technology, I would have definitely picked something in the climate change or wildlife preservation space. That's something.
Yeah?
And I
So-
think, also sustainability is a huge part of what we do as well. And again, I say this is by design because the colors, the kind of tools, the kind of base material you're using is all sustainable material. So none of it is chemical or anything of that sort.
But how do you police that in your?
It is by design. So for
It's
example,
by
a pitch wire, for example, is always done on
A
cloth.
natural one.
Yeah, cloth. They don't use any other base material. The colors that, like you said, are used are all stone colors. And stone colors जो शायद सिर्फ जयपुर में मिलते हैं या जोधपुर में मिलते हैं, therefore color में difference आता है. And those immerse into the ground over time. So
Okay.
it's not,
If you could live in any Indian city for a year, where would it be?
Bombay.
Bombay.
I love Bombay.
Yeah,
You're
I
from
love
Bombay.
Yeah, I'm from Bombay. Yeah, so I love Bombay
Yeah.
too. The
I
vibe
worked
is
there
different.
for 2 years and I feel there is no energy like Mumbai.
बस energy बाकी कुछ नहीं है लेकिन.
I know it's very strange because it's a very inconvenient city from a travel standpoint, but I don't know why.
I think it's just an addiction. Bombay is an addiction.
It is, and even now when I go to like Mumbai for work or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm just not tired. I'm on, and most of the time you're traveling only because that's Bombay. But you're just not tired. I'm working
That's true.
12 hours, 30
That's why
hours.
it's called the city that never sleeps.
It really is. I know what it is.
Yeah.
So, quick another little bit of trivia about me. My father was in the Air Force for 22 years. So, I've grown up across the country. We've done
How many cities have you
22
been?
cities.
So every year?
Almost every year. Sometimes 6 months also, sometimes 2, but approximately about 20, 22 cities that we've done.
Yeah.
And that's basically how my childhood was. I've traveled across. That's also how I got closer to these artists, because those communities used to be, those are, arts that I was exposed to. My favorite city as of now will have to be Bombay.
So which school you went to there?
I've done Kendriya Vidyalayas throughout. Kendriya Vidyalayas are FO schools.
Yeah. So you must be around in all the schools. You must be having friends all over.
I think post high school is when you keep in touch with those friends, because of course when you have friends in your childhood you're not really in touch with them. But yes, I have people through the country, people that still we in fact work with on a regular basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, let's come to my business, where
Please.
let's ask, because see, in diamonds and art, they are both considered investment, but
Yeah.
I would any day take art as an investment. And though diamonds are a business, I do not consider them as business. So what would as investment? So what do you think? Are diamonds an investment?
I think absolutely. I mean, I'm coming from a very womanly perspective. They are very addictive, and I've been through your website multiple times. And I remember how you were talking about how your business diamonds are an impulse buy. I understand that completely.
Yeah.
But of whatever little I know about lab-grown diamonds, I know apart from the fact that they are sustainable, you are democratizing that. I really do believe as a consumer, it is an investment.
But it's an investment for the lifestyle product. But when you talk about investment,
For the financial returns.
Do you think diamonds are investments?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. So see,
Yeah.
so this is what we are building at Fiona Diamonds, and this is what I have always been believing in, that India especially, सब लोग ऐसा believe करते हैं कि diamonds investment है, which is the biggest myth and misconception. And we're trying to break that myth. We are just telling the consumers that from consumer point of view, ये एक investment नहीं है. So recently ना मेरी एक रील वायरल गई थी, जब मैं शेयर कर रहा था अपने कस्टमर्स के साथ में, that हमारे यहाँ कुछ कस्टमर्स ऐसे हैं जो आते हैं, अपना नेचुरल डायमंड देते हैं और बदले में एक्सचेंज में दे टेक लैब ग्रोन डायमंड एंड टेक द बैलेंस कैश and invest in equities. So many people got offended और hate comments आने लगे, तो हमने realize किया कि ये सारे jewelers हैं. Because we are harming and directly challenging their business model, they got offended. लेकिन मेरा उनसे ये कहना है कि consumer के लिए diamond कहाँ पे investment है, क्योंकि आप investment क्या होती है जब आप सबसे पहले तो right price पे एक चीज खरीदते हो और उस पे आपको कोई returns आता है. अभी consumer point of view से, as a consumer when you buy diamond on retail levels, it can never be an investment, क्योंकि आप already retailer को 25-30% मार्जिन दे रहे हो. So my point was कि consumers ने भी right reasons के लिए खरीदना चाहिए. Diamonds have great snob value, it feels good, it's an amazing thing to have. लेकिन it's
a very
not
addictive purchase. I
Yes.
get that absolutely. Yeah.
मतलब आप सोचिए आपको 10 लाख का सॉलिड है, 1 लाख में मिल जाए, 1 lakh. And when you go for lab grown diamond, it's a great investment then, and it's a great financial decision, क्योंकि आप जो 9 लाख बचा रहे हो आप गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो या इक्विटीज में at your own risk.
Which you can track from a material standpoint what the prices are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and your investments can be then in your bags and shoes also when it comes to shopping, because जो आप पैसा बचा रहे हो वो फिर it can get you your Chanels and Birkins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true for us also, because even when we started speaking to our consumers as to why is it that you're buying art, it's very important to understand the objective.
Correct.
Am I buying art to fill up a wall in my home? Am I buying art for a monetary investment purpose, or am I buying art because I want to pass it down to my children and my grandchildren? Does it become heirloom value?
Correct.
And once you understand that objective. It's much easier to sell, because then
Correct.
you are showing them a curation that matches their objective.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think one more reason to add in your thing would be flexing, which comes with the artist name, but not from the design.
Absolutely.
So I've got a Hussain or Mahiti or any of the biggest artists.
So in our case, for example, because it's not contemporary art, so we don't have a Hussain equivalent in Indian art, although the talent is there, because like I said, market has not been positioned correctly. Therefore, it is not at value of it may not go for a 10 crore market. For us, the flex value for a consumer is, I have a Sikh miniature at home. There are 5 Sikh miniature practicing artists in the world today. I have one of them.
Yeah.
That is or for example, we had done a Sikh miniature ka entire wall for somebody recently in Ludhiana. It was done by the family of painters who had done the Golden Temple.
Oh, really?
That is the flex value here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about rarity and owning it,
Absolutely.
which no one else has.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So I would want you to also elaborate on the point, what's next for Bridge Bharat? And
Yes.
what are your plans with UNESCO, like you mentioned?
Yeah. So, see, when anyone asks us this question of what is next for Bridge Bharat, it's a 10-year, 15-year vision, right? I mean, I do want to build
Absolutely.
a company that runs its time, at least at the very least runs at least my lifetime for that matter. So I always go back to our North Star of why are we doing this, right?
Correct.
What is the next 100 years, or we are paving the next 100 years of Indian art, and what does that entail? So it is always going to be an overlap of technology and art. That is always going to be there at the base level. You also must understand that in order for any art form to survive, it must adapt to it's like evolution. It has to adapt to
Correct.
the modern times, right? So can we build, the world's largest immersive experience museum for Indian art?
So you'll have to go in metaverse. So
Absolutely, right?
yeah, that would be a kick-ass
Yeah, so we do
experience.
want to move into things like I had mentioned initially. So just paintings and framing are obviously vertical integrations of the product, but I do want to add digital art. I do want to add NFTs. I do want to add immersive experiences.
Wow.
All of that.
I think that would be a great experience. And also what you had mentioned earlier, that for now you're starting with prints and large, real and the high quality prints, so that it would be like a catalog for you, and consumers can get them commissioned from you.
Absolutely. So what I do want to start is, again, I personally don't want to get into digital printing, but like I had mentioned before, if you've heard of lithographic printing, which is printing in the 19th century, वो lithographic presses अभी
Yeah.
Germany में बनते हैं, बहुत कम बनते हैं. So can we import that? And that is better quality prints, etc. Again, blockchain authenticated, all of that is happening, and then mass produce that for the world. It's not just an India business. This is a global business.
Wow. Thank you so much, Akanksha. You've been great, and there's been so much, it's enriching to know about Indian art, and what you're doing and building at Bridge Bharat is amazing. I would love all audiences to check out your collection, and I hope they can get one piece for their houses.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Parag. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.